I don't know how long we got left in Narcissu, guys, but this is the first game we have to remember. There are 2 games in this free one, and this is part 1. So, I don't know what this is going to hold for us, but I am still interested nonetheless. Oimina and welcome, my name is Yuusha Anime, and welcome to Narcissu Part 2. I can actually say it properly now since I know how it's pronounced. So we're going to go straight to Chapter 3 on this game, which is called Map. So I wonder what this is going to be like. So guys, ikimashouka. I piled useless trivia upon useless trivia, drew information from the TV and the TV alone. And soon nothing was real anymore, fading away into hollow space. That's a unique interest. Trains, cars, I love things that could take me places. Ah, okay. I spread out maps on top of my narrow bed. Changed routes over and over and over. Sedans, coupes, convertibles, rode on so many different kinds of cars. The number one route continuing on forever, I ran on that road forever and ever and ever. Oh, let me go wake up my brother because my mum's calling me. Back in a second, guys. Gino. Mum's calling you. Dad, she's downstairs, she's calling you. Yeah?
What time is school? 10:30. So move. How many times at school, darling?
Sorry about that, guys. Let's try and help him up with something and kind of failed it. Anyway, let's jump back in this. Indigo blue skies, beautiful coastlines. I ran until I came to at last to these places sketched in my dreams. Slowly tracing past the arc of a cape, running on the white sand of a beach, the sun to my back. But if I but closed my eyes, I could go anywhere. Toward landscapes that I had never seen with my own eyes, longing for the soil upon which I could never hope to tread. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to skip that. Sky after the rain. The high-flying clouds streaming by knife's edge speed. The unique swishing sound of tire on wet asphalt. Hey! And through it all, there we were, driving along as always. No destination, just a desire to keep going no matter what. It wasn't as if I was looking to go at AWAJI Islands at all. We didn't even have the gas money to get there anyway. But I drove straight ahead on unfamiliar roads, even as I thought these thoughts. But where are we? I was forced to wander. I didn't know my geography very well to begin with, and I was seeing all sorts of place names I didn't recognise. I had planned on driving onto the ends of the earth, but with the GPS navigation system broken, I had no idea anymore. And before I knew it, I started looking around anxiously at the street signals as I drove. I don't know at all. Well, I don't know where we are right now. She'd said something to me, and I'd given her a casual response. Because she probably wasn't going to know even if I asked her. Oh, we're in Saitama. Oh, what? She's got a good memory. Uh-oh. Oh no, don't freeze on me. Ah, bloody hell. bloody Gazzo updating. Sorry about that. Freaking almost frozen my game. You knew all this? Did you happen to live around here or something?
別にそんなんじゃないわよ
It was a surprise. No, it wasn't just surprising. It was nothing short of a miracle that she knew the roads to this detail. Because no matter how I looked at it, she didn't seem to have driven around all that much herself. Then could it be... Do you know the way from here to AWAJI Island?
質問の意味がわからない
Well, see, we might be able to get there on normal highways without having to get on the tollways. And we might just have enough gas money to get us there.
あなた行きたいの
Yeah. Well, no, that's not what I meant.
じゃあ聞かないで
Come on, dude, just go to AWAJI Islands. With those words, she fell silent. And she turned to face the window with a frosty demeanour as ever. But she wasn't looking at the passing scenery. It felt like she was staring at something in the unreachable distance. Her? Then don't ask me. Just what the hell was that supposed to mean? Just go there with her. How would she have replied if I told her that I was planning on going? We simply continued on. No purpose, no aim. It wasn't as if we had a plan or schedule to get go. We just didn't want to die on 7F. Or at our oh-so-fake homes. But and maybe I alone, must have wanted something to show us the way, no matter what that way might be. There we go. Okay, January 22nd, 2005. We moved through the time quite fast, aren't we? Oh, we're at a seaside. It's cold.
そうね
Some beach whose name I did not know. We reached the sea before we'd known it. I'd been planning on heading west, but somehow it looked like I'd end up going south. Oh wow. A pitch black sky and a cold windy waterfront. We both got out of the car and stared at the darkened sea. She stood apart from me as usual and stared into the distance, where the black sky and ocean melted into the horizon's edge. And after seemingly taking a view of the ocean for a while, she slowly started walking toward the beach.
どうなると思う
What do you mean? Now I've got no idea what you're talking about.
楽に死ねると思うこのまま海に入っていくと
Oh no, don't say that. Those were her words as she slowly walked into the sands, her back turned to me. The third time was the end. There was no fourth time. The choice was between dying on 7F and dying at home. Apparently no one had escaped this choice. Those were the words that she herself had spoken to me. And yet on her second time around, she told me that she didn't want to die on 7F or at home. This was after she'd explained the rules to me. After her duty to me was already over. That's why I felt that this was what she meant. I don't know. I've never drowned before.
じゃあもしも今私が海に入っていったならあなた
Oh, she turned her head to look at me as she said this, with the moon rising in the dark heavens as a backdrop. And her gaze, which had always been so far away, was directed straight at me. I don't know. I had to see when that time came.
そうよね
She then turned her back to me and slowly started walking toward the sea once more. Hey, tell me,
何
do you want to be stopped? Upon hearing my words, she stopped short of the waves. A strong wind kicked up a spray that beat against her feet. If you want to be stopped, then I'll stop you.
別にそんなんじゃないわよ
Then it'll be fine if I don't stop you, right? Ooh, does she actually want to die? There was no reply to my question, but her feet did not move any further, either. So that was her answer then and there. She didn't want to die there. The high, high heavens of winter. Blue and clear, almost to the point of morning. Strong north winds beating against the electric wires overhead. A silver coupe reflecting that blue sky on its shining frame, with me at its wheel and with her in the passenger seat as per usual. I didn't know where this was. But the real problem was that we were going to run out of gas soon. I know that these images, by the way, everybody are the same, but I'm not going to criticise it too much. It is a free game, and it's received high praise, so I'm going to ignore those little factors. For this game, anyway. We didn't have that much money to begin with, and after various convenience store purchases, we had even less. Only about 7,000 yen left. Of course, I had no idea how many litres this car took, but we probably had enough money to fill the tank once. We still didn't really have a destination or anything, but if we didn't fill up, we could go anywhere, and we could not go anywhere anymore. I'm going to fill up on gas. And with that, I turned the steering wheel and drove into a gas station that was coming into view. Oh, welcome! Will you be paying by credit or cash? Cash, please. Regular or premium? Regular? Premium? I had no idea. Well, I had no choice. I had no idea about anything in this car. And on top of that, it had been a long time since those driver's license classes. Which one would you like? Oh my god. We don't even know if it's unleaded or freaking premium. Oh dear. Then I was at a loss for words and stood at the gas station attendant waiting for me. And then I was just about to answer at random because I didn't care which one of the two it was. She spoke from the passenger seat. Huh? Oh, okay. Regular then. Okay then. Regular full tank, paying with cash? Yeah, that'll be all. Okay then, thank you very much. Okay, there we go. The attendant skillfully began his operation with those cheerful words. The strangely disagreeable smell of gasoline wafted in front of the window that I'd opened roughly 10 centimeters. Hey, you sure this thing takes regular? She said nothing at all to this and just pointed at the price list. Ah, it's cheaper. But it could bugger the engine though. It could bugger the engine. I didn't understand it very well, but I didn't think there was that much different in price. Then I saw the gasoline meter and the number of litres being displayed. 25, 26, 27, 28. Numbers were going by at a credible speed. Maybe I'd made a mistake. I began to get a little worried as I watched those numbers climb. I'd done to fill the tank a while back, but I didn't have that much money on hand. Even with the coins, I only had about 7,000 yen, and of course I had no idea how many litres this tank took. What was I going to do if I didn't have enough money? I did some quick calculations and realised that after 60 litres I wouldn't have enough. Oh my god, the numbers kept climbing without slackening pace at all. I became more and more worried over something I usually didn't give a second thought to. Damn, how many litres does this thing take? I let the words out before I knew it. Oh, blood. God's sake. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't realise that thing was going to be on today. Jesus. Everything's not going right today, is it? Ah, dear. Huh? Oh. And just she said the gas limit stopped between 47 and 48. A sound of a receipt being printed out and then the attendant at my window again. Thank you for waiting. The total comes to 5,240 yen. Okay. Yeah. I took out a 5,000 yen note and a crumpled 1,000 yen note from my pocket and handed them to the attendant. Alright, the new change comes to 760 yen. Here's your receipt. Alright, thank you. Thank you for your business. I turned straight onto the road upon hearing the attendant's cheerful voice. The silver coupe now in motion once more. On the bright side, I was no longer worried about running out of gas. On the not so bright side, we only had about 2,000 yen left, just slightly less than that. This worried me, but there was something that preoccupied me much more. Hey, question. Could it be that you're an expert on cars too? What do you mean, not really? You knew this car took 50 litres of gas, didn't you? Of course it may have well have been that this kind of thing was absolutely common knowledge that I just didn't have. But she'd proven that she was an expert on these roads not so long ago. Having been caught by surprise twice now, I took out the vehicle specification from the glove compartment. And of course, you know the make and model of this car as well, don't you? You can think of it as a quiz if you want. Yeah, that's not a bad answer. Correct. And the specs?
99年式高速メッション最高出力200馬力
I had no expectation she had actually answered. I almost involuntarily followed along on the vehicle spec sheet as she rattled off figures with total disinterest.
全長 4380
God damn! She's even got the length and width!
1695総排気量 1797cc まだ言うの
That's alright, you're correct. Put the vehicle spec sheet back in its place. I'm gonna bleed my ears, but she nailed every single specification. I didn't think one could memorize these things, and I couldn't even venture a guess as to why she had. Right before my eyes, she had gotten every spec correct. Thinking back to the roads and flowers, I was getting the impression that she knew a lot about a lot. Hey, just why do you know so much about everything? Yeah.
別にあなたより年上だからよ
Oh, come on, no it's not. And with that bare response, she went back to her usual silence. But staring out the window again, I didn't find myself able to throw any more questions at her. Older. It really didn't look that way at all. Nope. But this was something she'd said before too. Her name was Setsumi, her blood type was O. Those were written on her white ID bracelet. And there's very little indication to show me that she was older than me at all. That's very true. She's only like 2 years older. And she knows about how much more than me? Around when the sun started peeking out from under the clouds. The silver coupe speeding along. No destination, no place to go, just running forward, cutting a joke. I'm sorry, I had to make a joke. No more worries about gasoline. But no more money either. I need about 2,000 yen left. Enough for 3-4 days at most of convenience store food. Alright, so what do you want to do?
質問の意味がわからない
I mean that we have no money left.
だから
Look, her appearance is unchanging as ever. At this conversation we were having while eating rice balls bought at a convenience store not long ago. Finally, the fact that even if we were driving along like this, we were using up gasoline little by little. Maybe it might have been better to just stay still without doing anything at all. But it was impossible for me to stay still without doing anything, without shooting for anything. And I kept driving with those feelings at heart. If we just keep driving on normal highways, we'd run out of gas in about 3 days. Likewise, we only had about enough for 3 or 4 days worth of food with 2,000 yen we had left. We're obviously going to become too poor to do anything soon enough. Hey, do you want to try going to AWAJI Island? Yes! No reply, she just keeps staring out the window as per usual. I think I might want to. Oh, I thought she was going to reply. Why? Well, that's... It wasn't as if we'd escaped from 7F with any goal or destination in mind. Because east or west, no matter where, anything was fine with me. But maybe that's why I wanted to go and wanted a goal in the destination, because anything was fine with me. Around when the daylight had given over to the darkness of night, I'd stopped the car in the parking lot of a pachinko parlour. Obviously, I wasn't planning on winning any money through pachinko slots. No, that'd be dumb. I knew that there wasn't much I could do on just 2,000 yen alone. If I was skillful enough, I might be able to swipe 10,000 or 20,000 yen. No. That was my guess, based on the many times I've been to pachinko parlours in the past. Don't do it. If I only had that much, we'd be okay in the first place. And we might even be able to get to AWAJI Island on that amount. So I told her about the plan that I had just thought up. How about it? Want to try it out?
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, very well. I'd expected it, but she'd shut me down immediately. I hadn't hoped that she'd cooperate with me in the first place. It's dumb. And I told her about my plan as a fait accompli. Not because I wanted her aid in it. Alright, then wait here. I got out of the car and strode into the pachinko parlour alone. What? It was more crowded than I thought. Lots of pachinko balls, lots of people, and more importantly, cash boxes crowded everywhere. As good a place as any. And thinking this, I headed over to the slot machines. I expected them from the corridor for a while. And after having finished my survey, I focused on one set of machines. Lots of middle-aged salarymen, alright, up to 4 boxes at their feet and up to two on racks above them. An empty stand separating each of them. From what I'd seen before, these men hadn't come with acquaintances or friends. This satisfied the requirements. Perhaps in a place like this, no one would notice if I swiped one of those cash boxes. In a store like this, each one probably held 20,000 yen or so. So I'm gonna steal? Oh, dude, you're taking a big risk here. Just that much. I just keep waiting there for one of the salarymen to go to the bathroom. After a little while, roughly 30 minutes had passed. The salaryman finally stood up from his seat. After I told him to make sure he was going to the bathroom, I dashed back to the stand that he occupied. Watching people who were hitting those slots in the attendance, I slowly approached the stand. Then, so as not to raise any suspicion, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, I swiped one of the cash boxes underfoot. At that moment, coins scattered everywhere with thunderous noise. I'd been meaning to pick it up. No, really, I had picked it up with my very own hands, but they were unable to bear that weight, and the cash box crashed to the floor. I can't carry it! Oh no! I can't carry it! Everyone turned in my direction to see what the commotion was all about. I got the feeling that someone was shouting. I got the feeling that someone was running toward me. That was all behind me. I'd already bolted and was less than 2 meters away from the entrance to the establishment by then. Slam. I put the engine in ignition in a hurry and floored the pedal. And when I spun the wheel to make my hasty getaway, just then, wham! What? I'd run against the curb or something as I turned to make my getaway. There's a horrible crunching sound, but I accelerated onto the road before me without giving it a second thought. I damaged the car pretty badly, didn't I? My suddenly constricted and out-of-breath chest and the silver coupe speeding out of the daylight and into darkness. I was concerned about the crash a little while ago, but I had to distance myself from that place now. And soon, after 10 minutes of this, a fair distance away from the pachinko parlour, I stopped at some roadside and started to get out to inspect the damage. Yeah, it doesn't look too serious. She sounded slightly worried as she calls out to me. I answered her and I expected the damage. There was just a bump in the rear fender and a small crack in the muffler. Didn't look as if there would be any problem driving like this. I let out a sigh, somewhat relieved. That sucked. Thought back at what just happened at the pachinko parlour. I slipped up there, but had I been a little more skillful, I might have pulled it off. And the reason I wasn't able to hold on to that cash box was because it had been a while since I lifted something heavy. Yes, it was. If I'd held on to it with all my strength for the outset, I might have been able to make it. Huh? Nope. She spoke to she'd seen straight through me. That was why she said it was not possible, dude. But what kind of weight? Perhaps she was right. I didn't want to admit how changed I was. Fair enough, I hadn't anticipated that at all that I could grow this week. Then, what should I do? Go to AWAJI Island? No answer. I was turning in silence toward the window to stare into the dark night sky. This was probably the way she was telling me to give up. Alright, chapter 4 guys, then I'll end off this video. The Emerald Sea. So let's see what this is going to be like.
時間を止め心を止めて情報だけを積み重ねる日々
Days spent gazing at a map, closing my eyes, travelling through unfamiliar roads. One day, the usual monthly magazines, a photograph on the front cover drew my eyes. A female model in a showy swimsuit. Provocate poses on a sandy beach. A smile captured right before the Emerald Sea that I'd always dreamed about. She was probably my age, smiling at me happily, cheerfully of her outstanding figure. It wasn't as if I was jealous or anything. Baka! I didn't own any swimsuits to begin with, and I didn't come close to having any need for them. My pyjamas were quite enough for me.
いくつもの季節を白い梅雨空を誰とも言葉を交わす必要もなく過ごした
I remembered, that day, June of the first year of middle school, the day of my first hospitalization. I remembered having ordered a swimsuit. I remembered having done so several years ago now. That day I remembered. That swimsuit that had lost its opportunity to be used. I took that school swimsuit new as the day I bought it, out of the drawer where it had patiently waited for years. I took off my usual pyjamas and timidly put on that navy blue swimsuit. I was shocked. It had already been years, and yet it feels to me as if it had been made for me that very day. So she hasn't grown at all. That swimsuit model was smiling at me warmly, smiling at me from the midst of the Emerald Sea. Smiling at me warmly and happily with that beautiful womanly figure. It was saddening. It wasn't as if I was jealous, no. The truth was, I was probably yearning for it. Yearning for it impossibly, stubbornly, because I knew that it was absolutely impossible.
だけど胸の大きな傷跡が諦めろと諭した。
Ouch.
生涯の伴侶は目を閉じた世界にしろと諭した。
Wait, they were telling you to? All your friends? Damn. January 22nd, 2005. Come on, let's go to the Emerald Sea, please. Oh yeah, I've got to click. Around a time when the sun slowly anchored down and dyed the western horizon orange. We were on the road as usual. What should we do now? We really had no more money left to spare.
ねえあなた、
As I thought upon these things, she caught me by surprise by calling out to me.
あなた、お風呂は入れ
Sorry
る
if you
の？
can hear that banging as well, guys. There's a bit of works going on in the house. Yeah, they said that I could go ahead unless it was a long, protracted bath.
そう。私も似たようなもんよ。
What she meant by allowed, and what I meant by they, was that the doctors didn't caution us against it. There had been many who had been forbidden to do so due to kidney or digestive tract issues. And now that I've thought about it, her problem was probably in her circulatory system, just like me. Well, do you want to take a bath? Wouldn't be bad.
悪い。
No, I kind of wanted to as well. Even so, we didn't have enough money to stay at a hotel or an inn. Then do you want to stop by a public bathhouse?
銭湯？
Yeah. Yeah, we got money for that at least.
やっぱり。
What do you mean? Fine. It had already been 3 days since we'd escaped from 7F. We were allowed to bathe twice a week there, and had sponge baths twice a day as well. Then again, we weren't getting very sweaty given the reason, and since we were in a car, we weren't getting dirty. Could it be that it's embarrassing for you to be in a public bathhouse?
別に。そんな意味じゃないわよ。
Okay. Around a time when the sun had completely disappeared and the moon waxed large in the night sky. Some distance away, I'd found something that looked like a school. This would have to do. I stopped the car before the gates. Then I rummaged in the back seat through the clump of clothing there. If I remember correctly, there were 2 or 3 towels in this heap. And then after sifting through a bunch of clothes, I found a hand towel after all. It had the legend Shiraishi Construction written on it. Probably one of the appreciation gifts that they gave out like candy. Alright, then wait a bit. Taking 2 towels with me, I headed towards school. Climbed over the closed gates and looked around anxiously for my target. It was a swimming pool, wasn't it? Oh, there it is. I found a water faucet. Oh, whoops. I found a water faucet station, probably for gardening use. Oh. I turned the knob and cold water poured out of the faucet. Water cold enough to freeze me stiff. I wet the 2 towels and squeezed them out. Sorry for the wait. Yeah. I handed over one of the 2 towels to her. Then I took off my sweater and started washing myself. The cold wet towel felt pretty good against the warm heating of the car. Hey, you go ahead and clean yourself too. It feels nice and cold too.
わかった。
She was a little reluctant at first, but then she slowly started undoing her buttons. The shirt and jeans were all too big on her. Unlike me, she simply washed herself by retracting her hands into the shirt. What is it?
いないでよ。
God damn it! Still a true pervert to the end. Oh, sorry, that's right. She murmured with the wet towel in her hand, her clothes half on, half off. It was the first time I'd seen her look like that. A little annoyed, a little embarrassed. Inside the car, our backs turned to each other. Hey, feels pretty good, eh? Inside the car, shrouded in the dark of night. Drying myself off, reflected in the glass of the windows, which also reflected her with her back toward me, drying herself off just as I was. She'd taken her shirt, and just as I had. I didn't mean to look, but I could see. Big scars on her oh, God. She's had surgery. I thought she meant, like, literally the people that'd given her scars at school. Not she had scars on her chest. Probably post-surgical. I didn't know what for, but they were much larger than mine.
ねえあなた
Huh? What is it?
そんなに珍しい
Her back turned to me, speaking to me, reflected in the window. It's not irregular. January 25th, 2005. I couldn't even answer that. The silver coupe in motion underneath cloudy skies. Driving around without a destination as per usual, it was already 3 days later. And nothing had really changed in that time. Along the way we found a free public open air bath. And since it seemed devoid of people, we were able to take a bath after all. Other than that, we were out of money and we were running out of gas again. Are you getting tired?
別に
We exchanged these words while eating convenience store but bought rice balls. They might have been tastier than anything up at 7F, but they were becoming pretty boring by now. But we didn't have enough money to have anything but this kind of meal.
音がうるさい
Huh? What is it all of a sudden?
車の音前より
Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, fair enough. That's the muffler, isn't it? Yeah. This is probably because I cracked the muffler when I was escaping from the pachinko parlor, yeah. Hadn't really noticed it, but sure enough the car was sounding louder. Not a real impediment to driving, but the bigger problem was the gas. I'd already been driving for 5 minutes since the meter had bottomed out at empty, and I'd only had 900 yen left. Unlike last time, this is obviously not enough. If the car stopped due to lack of gas, we'd be able to do nothing anymore. Oh god, haven't decided. I looked for a gas station and one that was self-service. I haven't found one, so the car next to the nearest pump. Go to get some gas. Don't get out of the car. No answer, but she probably knew what I meant by that. Opened the cap to the gas tank and snaked in the gas hose. Only one other car in the station and a little building with an attendant within. Probably there to give payment and give back change. According to the notice on the wall, you are supposed to take the receipt to him when done. We could probably make our getaway right now if we wanted. Is what I felt as I looked around the quiet gas station. 23, 24, 25, 26. The numbers went by on the meter, too slowly it seemed, unlike last time. I kept wondering uneasily if it wouldn't fill up a little bit faster. Then right after the meter hit 40, right before the tank was full. Oh no! Welcome! For some reason the attendant who had been in the building up until now came rushing towards us. Sir, are your tire pressure and ashtrays okay? Huh? Oh, yes, they are. I see. Well, it's cold out, so please be careful. He even started cleaning the windows to try and take good care of us. While he did so, the pump detected that the tank was full, and with a business-like sound spit out a receipt. Oh, please go over there to pay. He stopped wiping the windows for a second and pointed at the building. I held the receipt in my hands in silence and stood completely still, wondering what I should do. Something the matter, sir? Oh, no, it's nothing. For now, I got back in the car. I just turned on the engine ignition. What should I do now? The attendant was washing the rear window by now. So if I floored the accelerator now, then he'd be able to reach the license plate number right away. Oh no. Oh no. And we'd be arrested just like that. We'd get arrested, sorry. But we had to escape now. Having decided, I floored the clutch. And then, just as I was about to shift from the neutral into first gear.
Hi.
Huh? Oh, for God's sake, why is the voice clips missing? Go ahead and use it. She abruptly produced an envelope. And that... What? A 10,000 yen note? You gave it to me. You have money on you? I'd never thought that she had any. And because of that, we'd had so many hardships until now. Why didn't you tell me?
あなた聞いた
I didn't. Huh? Oh, no, well...
聞かれなかったからよ。
And with that, she turned back in silence to the window. Silver Cafe Mansion once more. The tank was full again, and we had 5,000 yen notes change. Well, what just happened was weighing heavily on my mind. Hey, you know... Here, this is all of it. Huh? Before I could get any further, she presented the envelope to me. Can I use this?
別にいいわよ。
I looked inside the envelope. There were 4 10,000 yen notes. Oh my god. This would be enough. But now, there was something entirely different on my mind. Why did she have this much money on her? The coupe, the couple thousand yen that I'd bought with me were just whatever I'd had on hand at the time. But in her case, it was as if she'd been prepared this all in advance. Yes. I believe she is planning for this. She wants to go there, dude. She's giving you all the hints. You just need to give her a good reason to go there. Hey, you know, you said you didn't want to die on 7F, right?
家だって嫌よ。
Yeah, same here. Then where exactly do you want to go? Didn't you prepare this money for just that purpose? Then I remember what she told me earlier. That she was going somewhere else while she still could. She asked me, do you want to stop me or come with me? So the truth is there somewhere you want to go?
別に
That's not much of an answer.
どこもないわよ。
That was all she murmured, desolately sadly. If that was the case, she had been preparing for a trip all by herself without having a destination in mind this entire time? No, she wants to go to AWAJI Islands, it's so obvious. Come on, please. It did make me wonder who would do such a lonely thing. But as I gazed at her lonely looking profile, I found my answer. She would.
じゃあ、あなたはどうなの？
Me? Nobody,
真似しないで。
I'm not imitating you. We kept driving along without a destination. One had escaped from 7F without a second thought. The other had made futile preparations without a destination. Yup. But right now, anywhere is fine with me. But I want to go somewhere. At least for me, I wanted a path to follow. I was fine with anything, as long as it was a path. Hey, how about that AWAJI Island you were talking about? We can get there with the money we have. Really, anywhere would have been fine, as long as it wasn't 7F or home. As long as we can get there. But we couldn't just wander around aimlessly. I wanted to head toward the destination, no matter what destination that destination was. What about you? Want to try going there?
別に
With that, she turned back to the window in her usual silent fashion. The same eyes, the same as ever, looking somewhere into the distance. Just what was she looking at? Just what was she hoping for when she came with me? Oh, please tell me. How many parts are there to this? Like, Narcissu is actually a bit longer than I had expected. But that's not a bad thing. I am really, really, really enjoying it. Since the last time I've done 2 chapters, I'll do one more. This will be the final one I do.
地図を見るのは好きだった。
The number 1 route continuing on forever. Places unknown, and I love cars because they can take me anywhere. No matter how much useless trivia I gained, it was all my imagination relentlessly chipping away at reality and at my heart. I had a swimsuit, I had maps, but I had no future. There was a world outside my window, but it was nothing I could touch. If I closed my eyes, I could go to a world without anything in it. But it wasn't as if the real world was disappeared from me. I knew all of this. My lifelong companion scars were telling me to get used to this world of closed eyes. And yet, I was still filled with what ifs and dreamed of wild possibilities, but eventually, the yearning never progressed past yearning. The bikini swimsuit, the Emerald Sea, my huge scars told me that I should give up on them already.
だけど
I spent most of my life in the hospital, amidst the world of closed eyes. It was so sad to only be able to choose between 7F and home. No other options given. However, it is sadder still that I couldn't think of any other places to go. Places anyway. But I've lived on for 22 years like this.
一つくらい好きにさせて。
When I murmured those words, I felt time, which should have been standing still, begin to move again. That day, my heart, which would have been standing still, was in torment. January 26th, number 1 route, Hiratsuka. The silver coupe, whose hood reflected the clear blue skies of winter. Wandering around as aimlessly as ever, at least no more worries about gas or food. Soon enough, we came across a large intersection. I hadn't obtained her approval last night, but I was still heading west regardless. The only problems were that I didn't know the roads at all, and it would be tough on our budget to take the tollways. Those are my thoughts as we drew near the large intersection. I was about to continue heading straight without a single thought when...
そこ、左折。
Whoa! Huh?
左に曲がって。
An abrupt request. Even as I wondered what was up, I turned left as she had requested onto a very wide road. What was that about? She wants to go somewhere.
これが
Yes!
1号線。当分はまっすぐよ。
For now? I was surprised by the sudden direction giving. We'd been together up until now and she seemed to know just about everything. This is the first time she'd voluntarily given me directions. Could it be that you've decided to go after all? Yeah. Well, you know, to the place we talked about, to AWAJI Island.
悪い。
No, it's not bad at all. No, that's not what I meant at all. We were driving along without any purpose. Yes, we're going there. I was floundering in search of some destination, and always enigmatic, she was ever looking into the distance. So the words that had just come out of her mouth took me completely by surprise.
期待してるわけじゃない。
What?
別に水着が欲しいわけじゃ。
Just what do you think you're saying? She wants a swimsuit.
なんでもないわよ。
She wants a swimsuit. January 26th, Route 22, Nagaya. The silver coupe shimmered with sunlight underneath the clear winter sky. It passed through the steep slopes and sharp curves of Hakone, and now we're in a much more relatively flat area. Hey, around where are we anyway?
愛知県よ。間もなく
Nagaya.
名古屋市街に入るわ。
Ooh, I've heard about Nagaya. I don't know a lot about the city, so I can't say I know the best on it. We were driving through the normal highway because we were on too limited a budget to use the tollways. I could never have done this alone. Thanks to her, we were making good progress. Her instructions more accurate than any navigation systems. I didn't know why I felt this way, but I could tell that we were on the right track.
次の交差点。22号線に入って。
Okay, got it. I turned the steering wheel and changed lanes as I had been told to do. The scenery streaming past the window, the sights and sounds of a city that I'd never seen before spreading to the north. And around a time when the wide open spaces around us had transitioned into urban neighbourhoods. Hey, want to stop by there? Some family restaurant at the roadside of the highway. I pointed to it as I drove and kept talking. After all we've had is convenience store food all the way up until now, right? Of course, it wasn't as if we'd been getting subsided on convenience store food because we liked it, that's true. There was the fact that we had no money, and there was also the fact that we were on edge, and now we had a little money to spare, so that's why I suggested it. After all, a family restaurant can be a nice change of pace, eh?
私はコンビニでいい。
I love this soundtrack, it's amazing, I love the soundtrack. She looked down a little as she said this, as if she was staring at her clothes or something. Oh, fair enough. Speaking of which, these clothes are way too big on her. Alright, next up, how about shopping by that place?
あっちって。
Look over on your side, that jeans shop over there. Next to the jeans is casual wear wholesale chain store that I've seen in other locations off the normal highways. That kind of store isn't likely to be that expensive either. Yeah. I'm stopping in, alright? I'm stopping now. She doesn't have a choice. No reply, but no resistance either. It might well have been. But it would be better for me to think of her non-replies as answers to the affirmative or something. We went into the store. She peered curiously around the 2 huge floors on the place, looking into every single corner there was. She was as without words as she always had been, and she may not have looked much different from her usual. This was a little different from the way she was when she was watching that boring TV that reflected nothing. She examined item after item of clothing and seemed to be considering the prices. And then whenever she tried on an outfit, she'd come running up to me and...
どう
What do I think? I think it looks pretty good on you. Oh, this is adorable. I
変
love
じゃ
this.
ない
No, I don't think so. And in this fashion, she tried on outfit after outfit, coming to show it off to me every single time. She did not once smile or let any facial expression out, but it seemed to me that she was somehow happy about it. Of course she was happy! Of course she was happy! Alright, have you decided?
これにする
Saying this, she showed me her final outfit, a pretty shirt and a short skirt. What she had selected did make her look like a middle or high school student, but she seemed to be pleased enough. Now, if memory serves, she told me in the past that she was older than me. But no matter how I looked at it, that just didn't seem true, yeah. Such the opposite, in fact, that I couldn't help but smile. But you know, maybe it would be better if the skirt were a bit longer. Oh, no, I'm just saying, I'm not saying it doesn't look good on you at all. See, it's cold, you know. And in that kind of outfit...
別に平気よ私我慢するから
Oh, yes! When she spoke these words, I saw a little bit of pink rise in her pale face. For a girl who always kept herself absolutely emotionless. Could it be that she was blushing? Of course she was blushing! Yes! The first expression of emotion that I'd ever seen from her. Yes, that's adorable! Back on the road again. The somewhat noisy silver coupe speeding along underneath the high heavens of winter.
次で21号線に入って
Okay, got it. She was acting as the navigator as usual. In no time at all, we had entered Gifu Prefecture. I know about Gifu as well. But if this were as usual, she'd only be looking out the window at nothing. But now she was checking herself in the side view mirror over and over as if well pleased. Checking herself in that mirror as if she didn't want me to catch her doing it.
何
I caught you. Well, it looks like you're pretty happy with those clothes, that's all.
別にそんなことないわよ
There was a bit more emotional with that. She stopped looking at the side view mirror. But after a little while, she started checking herself again as I watched. There were awfully cute things about her as well. And even if there was something as small as this, come on, I know it's a pretty great game, but grammar, guys, grammar. As soon as normal could be, I found it very cute. Yeah, I thought that was cute as well. That was adorable. Around when the sun had darkened into night, some roadside somewhere around when we'd finished our dinner, convenience store again. I wonder what's happened since we left. The white vinyl ID bracelet hang loosely around my wrist. I remember those words as I looked at the inscriptions. My blood type and name, and then the name of the hospital. Do you think they're in an uproar?
多分ね
Yeah, they're definitely in an uproar. They let two, like, vastly ill patients loose. The ones they keep in an area where they're supposed to die. Of course they're gonna go rancid about it. Yeah. Parents, friends, and the doctors. And even if it were only a paper-thin display on their part, I was still a little sorry to think that they might be worried. But the dad knew. He left you the keys. He knew. He told you to take it. My bad. Father, everyone. There's something selfish about consulting anyone. No, your dad wanted you to do this. What is it?
最初に死ぬって聞かされた時泣いた
No, he didn't. I was instantly shocked by a sudden question, and then I was silent as I pondered upon it some. Come to think of it, I don't think I cried.
じゃあどうして自分だけって
No, he didn't. He said he knew it was going to happen. I don't remember doing that either. At first I couldn't believe that it was actually happening, as if it weren't part of reality at all. Maybe, just maybe, I did feel something, a little. One of my buddies from the Technical Institute bought a new car, and he was complaining about how he had to take out huge loans. Some got first jobs, others were still in school. Some had children, others got dumped by their girlfriends. But I had no future. So in truth, I think I did wonder why it had to be me. Even if I told myself that this was fate, I think I did feel as if I couldn't accept that. Then how about you?
私
Yeah, did you cry? Or curse fate? She didn't.
私は
Yep.
平気だった。
And why?
だって最初から何も望んでなかったから。
Ooh. Ooh, wow, that's harsh.
私は諦めていたから。
Same as the guy. Is that so? No way to despair if you'd given up from the beginning. Not fun to turn you back that way, but not difficult either. But I couldn't help but feeling that it was just too sorrowful that way. Or could it have been that in her case, there was no other possible course of action?
前に見た映画で言ってた。狼は3年しか生きない。
They don't. That's a specific breed of wolf, if I remember as well. Huh? Wolves? She probably changed the topic on me.
でもロ
Yep.
バは9年も生きるんだって。
That is true. Why was that? Why 3 years for wolves and 9 years for donkeys?
ロバは役に立つから。
Oh, come on, don't say that. I love wolves. Wolves are beautiful creatures. They are beautiful despite them being vicious carnivores. They are beautiful.
そういうことらしいの。
She murmured these words as she looked out the window impassively. So, was this the thing that she told herself? To resign herself to abandon herself to her fate? The midwinter sky sunset. Our progress straight through number 21 route. The flickering white specks dancing in the twilight. It was starting to snow and snow hard.
どうかした？
Yeah, it's snowing. And sure enough, it looked like there was snow covering the roadsides. Gotta be careful, I had no idea when we'd enter the region of heavy snow, but as far as the eye could see, everything was draped in white. This was something somewhat concerning. As far as I could tell, these tyres weren't of the studless variety. Nope. Gotta be extra careful, dude, they can slide. If we ran into any snow heavier than this, it was likely that we were going to be in trouble. Hey, does it snow here a lot? See, if it snows much more than this, it'll be tough. There wasn't any snow on the roads right now, but it would be no surprise to encounter frozen road segments from here on out. Given that it could be very well become necessary to equip tyre chains, something they hadn't gone over in training. So, do you know?
この先は
Sekigahara.
関ヶ原。
I don't know of that place. Well, yeah, you told me that earlier. But what I wanted to know is if it snows a lot there.
わからない。
Ah. She answered, somehow desolate. And it made me feel like there was something incongruous there here. For someone who knew the roads this well, who knew just about everything about this car? Something like that should have been child's play. Very well, I'll just drive carefully. Come on, dude, you can do it. Oh wow, hello. A beach. We had gotten off the car and were looking at a lake. A chilly wind kicked up, scattering a powder across the lake's frozen surface. And in its mist, she slowly began walking toward the beach, as if it were the ocean itself. This was a spectacle I had seen before.
ねえ、どう思う？
Are you asking me whether I think you would die without much pain if you walked in?
海より楽な気がする。
I have no idea what your basis for that is.
海水は塩辛いし、
Oh wow, there's even
体も
lyrics
浮
in
いちゃうで
this.
しょ。
Oh wow, listen to that, guys. That's a very beautiful voice. Oh, see what sorry, and the body flows more easily. Quite deductive ability you have there. Under the cold north wind and the falling snow, we argued jokingly, serious who knew about our one endpoint. And after a while, she began walking toward the lake once more.
やっぱり止めないの。
You don't have any intention to die today, do you now?
そうか。
Aww. How much farther was it until AWAJI Island, of which we'd spoken? It wasn't as if I particularly wanted to go there, but I didn't have any problem with going there either. But though we wondered about a purpose up until now, the seeds of a final destination were being born in us. The girl who had halted our progress towards the waters was even without my having to stop her. Most likely, that was the way it was for her too. Alright, Literary 7. Oh my god, I didn't even get to read that, come
1
on.
号に戻って。
Got it. From number 8 to number 1. Under the guidance of our navigation, we were now heading toward Kusatsu.
ねえ今って
Yeah, we still have 30,000 yen or so. Oh wow. After we'd hit that clothing store, we'd only spent money on convenience store food. Why, what's up?
じゃあ高速に乗る
Tollway. Why can't we get through there through the normal highways?
確かにギリギリまでならいけるけどでも最終的には必ず有料道路に乗るから
Oh, we're nearly there. I see, so that's how you get to Awaji Island. I didn't know it that well, but apparently in order to get there, we'd had to cross some bridge called Seto or something. Yes, I've heard of Seto Bridge.
じゃあ草津からバイパスに入って
Okay, got it. Under her direction, I went from the Seto interchange to the Meishin Expressway. Compared to all the roads we've been on so far, it was obvious that this was a real expressway was. No traffic lights, a beautiful perspective. Seemed pretty simple to even a beginner like me. But as I got on the rightmost lane, I could hear a terrific sound behind me. At first I had no concept of a passing lane or anything, but as I got used to the expressway, it was almost fun. That's a pretty incredible car. Some cars passing us by at terrific speed. And without thinking, the two of us exchanged glances. Sure enough, from her passenger seat, she was looking somewhat different from usual. While usually she'd be staring out the window into the distance, today she was looking around at other cars with great interest. Speaking of which, she knew a lot about cars for some reason or another, didn't she? She did. I pointed at the car that had just went past us. Hey, what kind of car is that? A crystal pass the time, see?
トヨタセリカ
Oh, a Toyota.
オーバービュー
Oh, it's a GTS. Okay. And the one we just overtook?
シトローエン草田
I've not heard of that Citroen. Wow, you know a lot. To tell the truth, I didn't know whether she was right or not. It was really pleasant to hear words coming from her usual silent lips. So I kept plying her with questions.
青いのがユーノス
Yeah,
赤
Alfa
いのが
Romeo.
アルファロメ
She even told me about the two cars that were just passing us now. I'm willing to bet you won't know what that is. I pointed to a truck, not a car as I spoke. I want to see a little perplexity seep into that expressionless face of hers. So you don't know trucks that well then?
オ日産アトラス
Oh, god damn it. Oh wow, you're incredible. Well, almost. We almost got her. I've been planning on teasing her, but instead she gone straight over my head. Isn't that level of knowledge something to be proud about?
そう
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could toot your own horn about it. She had no words in response. Felt like she was blushing a little bit. So she loved cars after all. Then when we get there, want to try driving?
でも私免許持ってない
It'll be fine. Driving along with the beach will be fun, don't you think? If we went all the way to Awaji Island, then there would be lots of places without any people. And this car had a stick shift. So I thought she might have fun driving it. If you want, I'll teach you. Although, to be honest, I'm a complete beginner myself. Aww. Yes. Yes, we're nearly there. Oh, wow. Okay, guys. Okay. I'm going to have to end this part of Narcissu here. I think this part may well be over an hour. But I don't care. This story is developing so well and I love it. It is so pleasant to read, despite the depressing tones. It is such a great read. So if you guys want to actually get this game, don't forget it's free on Steam. Just type in Narcissu and it'll come up first and second, or get the 10th anthology. I've got that as well. So, but unfortunately now, guys, I'm all out of time for this part. So all I can say now is thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want any more from me. And I shall see you in my next video. So, guys, I will indeed see you next time.